Good evening and welcome to the meeting of the St. Peter School Board. It is Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. We are in the governor's room at the community center. First item is to call the meeting to order. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We need to consider and adopt the agenda, which is before you in the packet and online at Board Book.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We do know that we're buying a little time for our Student of the Month to show up. So hopefully we'll be able to do this all in order.
I'll move the agenda with flexibility.
Thank you. Motion and a second for flexibility. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda is adopted. Kimberly, any requests to speak? Thank you. Next up, approval of consent agenda, which is in the board book packet online and in the paper packet in front of you.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for the consent agenda. Any discussion?
I would like to call, when we get to the bills and wire transfers, please. I'd like to address that later.
Okay.
Thank you. Are you pulling that?
Are you pulling it from the
Agenda? Just like to, yeah, I could.
Or you could talk about it.
Is that okay if I do that?
Mhm.
That would be my choice.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I think you said you wanted to pull it.
Oh, you want to pull it?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
I'm his assistant.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we're pulling that out. So we're approving, need a motion to approve consent agenda without.
I move to approve the amended consent agenda.
And I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I do have some discussion about it. Because this is a new format for consent agenda for us in these meetings, and I think it's appropriate. But I don't remember the details of, if we wanted to look further at the details of the consent agenda, how are we doing that? I know that we decided on something, but I don't remember the detail.
So, oh, go ahead.
Just to clarify, so like if you wanted to talk about a specific item within the agenda, or if you wanted to get details about something that's in the consent agenda.
Yeah, I thought we were not including personally identifiable information.
Correct. So
Right.
leaves,
Yep.
we have removed leaves from the consent agenda, because some of those leaves are federally mandated leaves that we actually can't say no to.
Oh, yes.
And we want to protect any private data.
Yep, okay.
So those are the items that have been pulled out. The other change is just the format.
Yeah.
Your consent agenda used to have all of the memos. We've streamlined our process internally where it's more of a Google form for us. And then the hires, the staffing changes go on this document just to streamline it.
Very good, thank you.
So the same information is included, just 15 fewer pages.
And the benefit for us at the district office is it prevents some of the dynamics of every principal filling out their own memo.
And saves paper.
And saves paper.
All right, so we have a motion and a second for the amended consent agenda. Any further discussion? Discussion. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Or opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. So now, we were pulling the bills and wire transfers.
But
Yes.
As a disclaimer and true transparency, just want to acknowledge that my intent is to review bills and wire transfers prior to the board meeting each month. For medical reasons, I was not able to do that this past month, so I will do 2 months this next time. But I'm sure knowing the efficiency and the accuracy with which the business office functions, everything is fine. But just wanted to throw that out as a disclaimer.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now we need a motion
To approve.
to approve the
Exactly.
bills and wire transfers.
And I will move that.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Discussion.
So we're approving them before he looks at them? I mean, is it essential that we approve them tonight? Or do we
We
do
could-
them both next time,
We-
after you look at? What's your,
I guess my, I would defer to the chair, but my understanding would be, it would make perhaps sense to approve them tonight, and then when I review them, if I find anything that's out of the ordinary, I'll report
Then we
back
could
at that
report back.
time,
okay,
if that's okay with the
I'm
board.
comfortable with that. And
it's fine with me.
Sounds good to me.
so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Perfect timing. Next up is our student spotlight. Brianna. Hello.
We brought some props from South Elementary today. So I have Brianna Marquez here with me today, and she is a first grade student that we selected to be our spotlight because of her leadership in the classroom and her accomplishments this year. She is a very hard worker. She is a student that we have seen consistently get better in math and reading, and she is also a really good friend and helper. One of the things that I notice about Brianna is that when she walks into school every day, she is typically hand in hand with her brother. And you explained that to me. Why do you do that every day?
So my brother doesn't have to go without my hand.
Yeah. He was a little nervous as a kindergarten student, right? So she's a big helper. And so we appreciate that about Brianna, and she's like that with not only her brother, but other kids in the class. So I think your brother is here and your family. Can you tell us who all is here? Maybe they can give a little wave.
My mom and dad and sister and brother and my friend.
And your friend. So how old are your siblings?
My siblings are 5,
Okay, that's Ian.
11,
Is she right?
and 1.
And 1. Okay. Very good. So who's your teacher at South this year?
Mrs. Eiler.
Mrs. Eiler. And what's one thing you like about your class?
It's because they're kind to me and they don't treat me bad.
Yes. So what is something that you really love at school?
Playing with my friends.
Yeah, and you mentioned recess specifically, didn't you? What do you like to do at recess?
I like to play with the snow.
The snow, so she's a fan. It's gonna melt. But probably not before your field trip tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Get to go to the nature center. It's gonna be fun. And when I asked you about your favorite thing to learn, what did you say?
Haggerty.
Haggerty. So Haggerty is our phonemic awareness curriculum. And we're gonna do some Haggerty, aren't we?
Yeah.
She picked out some words, so we're gonna quiz you guys. So in phonemic awareness, I'm gonna do this one first, okay? It is about the smallest units of sound and then putting them together. So in class, Mrs. Eiler, you're gonna demonstrate this one. What does she have you do? She has you give each
say-
sound, right?
yeah.
Okay?
And
And then blend it.
Phone.
Phone. Okay? So that is something that Brianna likes to do. Why do you like to do that?
because it makes me good at doing the blending.
The blending, yeah. And then you can read new words, like hard words. This is a tricky one that Brianna picked this out. Are you ready? We're going to make these guys do this. Don't give any hints.
Okay.
Okay? So how many sounds are in this one?
5.
5 sounds, okay? So So here we go, school board. Are you ready? We're going to point. Spider. That's a hard word to read, isn't it? Yes. Should we do one more?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is 2 words that you picked for your last one. And some of these have 2 letters together, but they still only make how many sounds? Still only make 1 sound, right? Okay, 2 words. Oh, sorry. I'm not as good at pointing as Mrs. I. So then we have all together. First grade. Yeah. So it's a good way for kids to be exposed to new words, and then they get some confidence in reading those words, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's also talk about a time that you showed Star Pride at school, because you show Star Pride a lot. What is something you do in your classroom to show Star Pride?
When my class is talking and my teacher is saying to be quiet, I do Quiet Fox.
Show them what Quiet Fox is. Quiet Fox. So you'll see this in the hallway at South when you walk around. Kids are doing this, and it just means like, shh, it's a reminder, a visual reminder. It's very good. Okay, is there anything that you think these grown-ups should know about first grade?
That you get to learn a lot of hard things.
A lot of hard things. And you also learn about perseverance, which is how you get through all of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. And this was one of my favorite things that I asked, and I didn't know this before we talked. But what do you want to be when you grow up?
A teacher.
I love that. So that's kind of a fun one for me to end on. But do you have questions for Brianna?
Does Quiet Fox work at your house?
Not really.
Not so much. Good luck.
I have a question. So you have your specialist, do we still call them specialists? What's your favorite one that you have at South Elementary?
Art.
Art. Nice. It's fun to have all the different ones to go to though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for having us, and congratulations. We'll just go and we'll take a quick picture and then we'll be done.
All right, we will move into our action items. Action item number 1, consider resolution to accept gifts, donations, and grants. Dr. Graff.
Thank you. So the following gifts and donations have been generously offered. We have a donation in the amount of $7,500 that was made to the school district in memory of Edward Schultz, and that goes toward scholarships. We have a donation in the amount of $2,000 that was made to the school district by the Clay family, and this donation will be used toward 2 $1,000 scholarships for graduating seniors. Cly. I'm sorry.
Yep, nope, you're
Sorry,
good. You're good.
Cly family, appreciate that. Number 3, we have a $5,000 grant from Prairie Lakes Regional Arts Council, and that was made to the community and family education, and those funds will be used to pay Emily Bruflet. She is the community choir director. And then lastly, we have donations totaling $2,915 that have been given to the FFA student activity account, and those donations consist of funds raised from the FFA community meal, a donation from the Nicollet County Farm Bureau for the FFA trip to Italy, and a donation from Jackson Whitty for the senior FFA posters, which are hanging in the high school. So I'd recommend that you accept those gifts, donations as written.
I'll make a motion to accept the generous gifts, donations, and grants from all the various places. And people.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So I'm a little confused. So when we talk about funds that have been raised by it, it sounded to me like they were from the kids' fundraising activities, but that's not the case, is it? I mean, that's not a gift. if they're out fundraising, right? See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, where that meal was a free will donation. So procedurally, would we do this? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I'm just, when I read this a couple times, I thought it was some of the things that they were doing to raise the funds themselves for their trip. And maybe I just misunderstood it when I read it.
Yeah, my understanding is these are just from those three areas.
Okay.
The community meal, the Farm Bureau, and then what?
I can
Miscellaneous,
understand
sure.
the Farm Bureau because that's an organization. Yeah. But if the meal, if that was all based on donated stuff, then I could understand that too, so.
Yeah, and that's my understanding. It was a free will donation for that meal. Great question, though, in terms of the procedure behind that.
Mr. Chair, just an informational
Yeah.
item. We're very generous on all donors' parts, we greatly appreciate that. Most of you are probably aware of this, but Steve Cly was a board member a number of years back, and very appreciative of his and his Barb's donation. Not to put pressure on anybody, but that might establish a precedent. No, just seriously, it's Steve, I had the pleasure of serving with him for a number of years, and he's a great board member.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we do have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Discussion. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. This is a resolution, so we need to go around the table. Ms. Rosbach?
Aye.
Mr. Rosso?
Aye.
Ms. Stewie?
Aye.
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 Mr. Dixon?
Aye.
Ms. Martin?
Aye.
The resolution carries. Thank you. Next up, consider approval of the 2025 to 2027 master agreement with SPEA. Dr. Graff.
Happy to report that the HR Committee, Negotiations Committee, has reached a tentative agreement with SPEA for the 2025 to 27 contract. I'll go over some notable changes that are included in that agreement, and also note that SPA has voted in approval of the contract as well. So, some notable changes. There are some co-curricular changes that will go into effect next school year. Those changes are a 5% increase across the board, and then some adjustments of categories. And those categories that we've adjusted, the head and assistant cheer advisors, those were not on the salary schedule, now they are. I think it was Pep Club, so we've swapped those out. The fall and spring play directors and technical directors will be paid at the equivalent level as head coaches. The fall and spring assistant directors will be paid at the equivalent of assistant coaches. And then lastly, the addition of the FFA lead and assistant advisors. So previous to this agreement, our advisors had been awarded extended day contracts, about 20 to 21 days, for all of the service that they provide the district over the summer. We've flipped that out to just a straight stipend. The second big change is a change in leave. So starting next school year, we'll be shifting to PTO. And then we will also decrease the amount of accrued leave that teachers can accumulate. It was 180 days. Starting next school year, it'll be 120. We've changed the salary schedule by decreasing step 11 by 1%. That over the years has had a bigger gap in it than the rest of the steps. So we've decreased that by one step to make it equivalent to all the other steps, and we've added step 12. That'll go into effect this school year. And then next school year, across the board on that salary schedule will be a 2.6% increase. And then also some increases to life insurance. The family cap will increase this school year to $25,392, and next school year an increase in single to $18,000 and an increase in family to $26,154. Anything that the negotiations team would like to add?
You said life insurance, it's health insurance.
I apologize. Yeah,
No,
health insurance.
and there was a change in life insurance, correct? The school readiness group was added to that benefit. It was a long process, but it was, I thought, done in a very respectful manner, both sides. And it just sometimes takes a while to reach common ground.
So I attend a lot of conferences with new superintendents, and I'm just very happy at the relationship that we have with our unions. That's not always the case. So I was also impressed with how the negotiations went. And kudos to our team, amazing folks on that team, so thank you.
Would entertain a motion.
I'll move.
So move. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you to SPEA and also the Negotiations Committee. Next up, consider policies for approval with a second reading. Dr. Graff.
We have one policy coming back for a second reading. If you will remember, last month, we brought policy 702.1, procurement procedures, for a single reading. That policy is essentially a duplicate of policy 721. So we brought it for the first reading to give folks time to mull it over, but the recommendation of the committee is to remove 702.1 from our policy manual. MSBA does not have a equivalent policy. 721 is tied to state statute. 702.1 is not.
I remove policy 702.1 from the handbook. From the,
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Were there changes to 721 at all?
if they're statutory only, I mean, the legal language,
So, do we need to include that in the motion?
that's on a separate,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Discussion, discussion, discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, consider policies for approval with a single reading. Dr. Graff.
We're bringing a number of policies to you for approval with a single reading as part of our regular 3-year cycle. Those policies, we'll go through them together. They all include minor or no changes recommended by the policy committee. So 801, that's equal access to school facilities. We're recommending minor changes to legal references and the reordering of section 3, and that section is the definition section, and those changes are recommended to match MSBA's model policy. 805, waste reduction recycling, same thing, just minor changes to legal references. I say it every month, I'll keep saying it. We're changing the way that we write out the statute reference. It was MinStat, and now it's Minnesota statute. So those are those changes. Health and safety policy, 807, minor changes to legal references once again. 901, community education, minor changes to legal references. 902, use of school district facilities and equipment, that is minor changes to legal references as well. And then lastly, 905, advertising, no changes are recommended. So we recommend approval with a single reading.
I move that we approve policies 801, 805, 807, 901, 902, and 905 with one reading. I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Discussion, discussion,
The
discussion.
numbering system that MSBA is recommended, or,
Yep, these match.
We
yeah,
went
'cause-
through that
We took
a couple years ago.
a couple of years. going
Renumbering
through it.
right.
Yeah.
to align.
It just seems to me that if I'm looking, I would like to have equal access to school facilities and then the use of the district facilities and equipment together or close by, not two different 100 numbers.
The nice thing about MSBA's policies is the cross-reference at the bottom.
Okay.
And I use that a lot where, okay, this isn't the right policy, and then you go down and you're like, okay, here's where I need to look.
Yep. But yes, it follows their suggested. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Those policies have been approved with one reading. Thank you. Moving on to informational items. Number one, review of policy manual revisions, first reading. Dr. Graff.
We're bringing 2 policies for a first reading this month, and these are also part of the regular review cycle. We'll talk 903 first. This is visitors to school district buildings and sites. We are recommending minor changes to the legal references, as we've mentioned before with the other policies that we've talked about this evening. And then lastly, in both our policy and MSBA's model policy, in section 4, there's a spot that says that procedures will be included in the policy manual as an addendum. We traditionally have not added addendums to our policy manual. So after discussion as a policy committee, we are recommending at the end of that policy, putting the words, upon approval by the school board, such procedures and requirements shall be included in parent/student handbooks. And these are the procedures for what parents would do if they are visiting the school. So an example of that, I have South's handbook up, and there's a section in there, in that handbook that says visiting school, and it goes ahead and talks about you need to check in with the office. It's best to get those pre-approved, call in advance. And then it also talks about lunchroom procedures if you're coming to lunch, and it spells it out very clearly. And we feel that because every student and family member or parent, guardian gets the handbook, we feel like that's a more effective and efficient way to communicate. But wanted to throw it out there for a single reading, so we had some time to chew on it. Anything to add?
I would add that according to Dr. Potts, the practice has been that the policy manual is for policy and the handbooks are for procedures, which allows, which requires less, total adjustment every time that there's something changes, but that gives access to those who need the information more freely, like you said, Mr. Kaut, yeah.
And then policy 904, distribution materials on school district property by non-school persons. MSBA has a reordering of section 3, so the team would recommend that we match MSBA's policy there. And then we have the same situation where it talks about any additional procedures would be included as an addendum, and the team is suggesting that we say additional guidelines will be included in the parent-student handbook as the previous policy.
Are all the handbooks on the school website?
They are.
I thought they
Yep.
would be, but just kind of asking, just to make sure. And I feel like we maybe talked about this, but has there ever been talk about like having like all of our policies, and maybe we did talk about this, but like in like an AI like program so people could like interact with it? And I mean, AI can do everything.
Yeah. So, yes, we don't have that AI program
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
Michael Johnson is exploring, and we're kind of messing around with one
Yeah.
in-house that I use, and it's pretty slick. All the policies are in it, and I can type in a question.
Yeah.
Hey, can seniors drive to PSEO classes? And then it gives me the link to the policy so that I can look it up. I think that is a discussion that we just don't have the capability quite
Yeah.
yet.
Because you just want it to be like looking at, not at picking X high school from up in the cities, like, I want it to be just our stuff, and then point it right to the policy.
Yep.
It sounds like what you're doing. Maybe we did talk about that, and that's why I was thinking about it, but.
Yeah, so Mr. Dixon would know more than I do, but I think then you'd have to have your own program that keeps it all in our box.
Yeah.
So that it's not going out to the others, which would be an additional cost in programming and things.
You must have to pay something for that tool.
What we're seeing commonly is, an organization who may have a public-facing website that hosting provider oftentimes has a module or something to help you define some of those boundaries, open up some documentation for an LLM search, help ensure ADA compliance, that kind of stuff. Whether or not our provider does that, I haven't checked, but could be an easy-ish way to do it.
I was gonna say, do we have a search portion in our policy books?
Oh, I'm sorry, ask that again.
You know, on the website.
Yeah.
So if you're in the policy manual, can you put a search
I
item
think
there?
you can search
No.
within, I think it opens it as a,
Okay.
You can search the
Control.
website for policies, and
Yep.
it'll take you there, but not necessarily to the level that we're talking about here.
Yep.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Big things are coming to St. Peter's.
all right, so that was, those are first read, yes? Yeah.
Relative to policy 903, and recognizing it's critically important for security purposes and lots of reasons to have guidelines, regulations, procedures, et cetera, for visitors. We also need to be cognizant of, we don't want to make it an onerous effort for people to visit, be they parents or grandparents or whatever. So there needs to be a welcoming component with that. And I know that's the thrust, that's what we're trying to do, but please don't lose track of that. That we welcome people into the schools in the right circumstances and in the right way. But we need to follow the procedures, but we also don't want to keep them out.
For sure.
Great point.
Yeah. All right, first reading. Next up, buildings and grounds update. Seth, you're up.
That's what I've been waiting for the whole meeting.
Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, it's been an interesting week, that's for sure. It's a good reminder we live in Minnesota. That weather can change pretty quickly from riding a bike to plowing snow. So, just a few things I want to go through kind of quickly. We're starting construction right now regarding that. We're really starting to ramp up and get ready. We're just starting to realize we're almost into April already, and it's going to happen really, really quick. So we've been working with ICS and a lot of the other construction companies to start planning, getting things lined up, materials, people, to make sure everything happens, time schedules, and that we, just like last year, I know it was a real big rush, but we did finish on time. And that's what we're trying to do this year. We got the same thing. It's not as much beautification as it is mechanical, which can be a little more daunting than anything else. Right now, we're actually, this week, we turned over the auditorium at the middle school to the construction company. We've been working with community ed. There's no more plays or anything going. School also. So with that happening, that gives us an opportunity for the construction company to get in there, start doing their demolition, getting in way ahead of the schedule and getting that part knocked out before even the end of school. So they're gonna completely redo all the heating, cooling lines, the venting, everything's going in there. So the plan for that is by time the end of school, that portion will be done and we'll be able to move on and just focus on other things. On the next couple weeks, we have odd days off here and there. We're working on getting all the punch list stuff that was left over from the construction from phase 1. We're working with the companies. They're finally getting material in to where we could get in, get them done. My goal is to have that punch list done, anything left over from phase 1 to be done before we move into phase 2. Because I don't want that to compound and just keep adding up and adding up. Any questions on that? Again, this summer, I highly recommend you guys get a hold of me so we could take a walk through. I would love to give you a tour more than just once this summer, see what's going on and stuff. So that way you guys walk through and you can actually see what's happening and going on. So just an encouragement for me, don't be afraid to ask. Yes.
Seth showed me the boiler.
I
So
was
the,
gonna put
the
that,
inside
thank
of the
you.
boiler the other day, he's a great tour guide and very, very educational experience.
Yep.
Don't worry about that fire.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
When we have our weekly meetings, John is very interested in the intricacies, how things happen. I am more than happy to teach him how to do that. We had an opportunity, we had some mechanical failure in one of the boilers. And when we had the company in fixing it, I went and grabbed John and said, John, I said, I can explain this all day. Let's go take a look at this and see, and walk down there. And he was able to look inside to see how water transfers, see the burner pit on the inside, how that's laid out. So that was actually really good. I got to learn a little bit too there. So, yeah, so that was kind of fun. I do love giving tours and explaining things. I really, really do. So I'm open for that. Just let me know when. Yes.
Apply for the boiler license, we'll have to adjust his contract.
So we had a meeting the other day in my office, and on the table I got my boiler books, because I'm going to upgrade mine to the first class and then to the chief. And John picked them up, and I said, I'll borrow them to you. They're here if you want to learn. I got stacks of notes too. So. All right, so with that, we can move on. One of the other things that we've been looking at, and John and I have been having this discussion for a little while, and I think I've mentioned it before, is we're starting to look at North Elementary. So once the middle school is done, we're looking at the HVAC system, the age of it, the shape of it at North. At some point, we're going to have to start looking at that. And I prefer to start the conversation now. It can't hurt to have a conversation, because that way you kind of know what you're looking for, look what to expect when you get up to that point. And the way I look at it, you start a conversation now, you're looking at probably 4 to 5 years before you even start any construction at all. And there's a lot that goes into it. So we had, the first step we did is we had ICS come in, and they walked through and gave us a complete building eval, boilers, univents, the whole system in general. And then 2 weeks ago, I think, we finally had they brought those findings to us. So we sat down and kind of discussed it and what we're going to be looking at. And that's kind of where we're at right now. So we're just going to continue that conversation and see what happens and goes from there. One of the things that did come up, and this happened before, the reason why I wanted to start this conversation, we did have one of the burners in the boilers go out. So right now we're running on one boiler. Thank goodness has been rolling the dice that we've made it through the winter so far with that. That does have to get done. We did get a quote for that, and we're looking at about $55,000 just for that burner. So with that, if we get it done, we're going to get that changed out. We're going to be ready for next year. But if we could get this project started the sooner, that burner, when we take it out and replace those boilers, there is some resale to that. And that's what I'm looking for at the back end. You know, the older they get, the more they get used, just like a car, the more they depreciate. Well, that's just something we're looking forward to, looking into, you know, for the future, kind of keeping an eye on. So it's not something that I want to just dump in and just say, well, that's what it is. I want to look at what can we get back out of it for anything and for the future projects. Any questions with that one? Yes.
What's the status of HVAC at South?
So far, everything's just peachy. It's running really, really good. It's the system, when they redid that one, is running just like the high school. You know, so that is something that's been a very big blessing, that I don't have to worry about those two, because I got enough on my plate with the old boiler systems.
Right.
But with that being said, that's why we're looking at starting North.
Right.
You know, because it's going to run into what the middle school did at some point, where we're going to be starting to run into that nickel and diming. This winter was very, very interesting, trying to keep the heating system going at the middle school. So, yes.
He said 5 years before.
You can push that up a little bit, but that's what my expectation would be, because there's going to be a lot of planning going into that. And not only that, once the planning phase is done, Then you get the numbers part of it. Once you get the numbers part of it, now we have to start figuring out financing. How do we do that? How can we do that?
But is it realistic to expect the existing system to last another 5 years?
That's a hope. It's just like anything. The sooner we could start it, the better. If we have to keep it going for another 5 years, that's what we have to do. But typically, that's about how long I see the process taking.
So if we replace this one burner,
Yep.
and you talked about possible resale, would it maybe be prudent to keep the old one around for parts?
If they do, you're talking about keeping it for a spare?
Well, or, you know, if we, I don't know how complicated burners are.
Sure.
And how many parts are there, but,
If we go with the system that they've been going through, like what South did, they went to the hydronics plant instead of the burner systems themselves, those parts would be obsolete at
Yeah.
that time for the district. Yep.
is that the same way with the stuff that's coming out of the middle school that can't
Yep.
be used at North?
No, you might be able to nickel and dime a piece here, there, a motor or something, but again, those burners are on their last leg as it is. And yeah, they get, everything that's coming out of there will be obsolete. Yep.
So given the 12,000 or thereabouts that you estimated, 12 million, I'm sorry, for North,
Yep,
if there isn't actual construction for 60 months, more or less, there could be a significant increase in cost.
absolutely, there could be.
Right.
Yep. So this was today's price. We don't know what's gonna happen in the future. You know, I would like to say we're gonna start it as soon as the boilers come out at the middle school. We're tearing down North. Going that quick. Realistically, I don't foresee that happening, but that's something that we are gonna have to take into account. Hopefully the prices, tariffs, everything come down and it'll go the opposite way. You never know. I mean, that's best case scenario. But yeah, anytime you get something like this, you're gonna have to take in inflation and stuff that happens. So,
We've invited ICS to come to the April Business Committee
yes,
to share more.
yep. Yep, kind of sit down and give their, give an update on it, fill you guys in. They're able to answer a lot more intricate questions than what I am able to, so. Anything else? Okay, all right. One of the other things we got going on is our LTFM planning. So next week, we're gonna work on, John, Megan, and I are gonna sit down, and we should have that finalized and ready to, everything in place and get ready to submit. Hopefully, we'll get it submitted earlier than, is it July 31st that it has to be in, or June 30th, something like that? Right around there. It has to be in the end of June or the end of July. I would like to get it in a lot sooner than that. That's just the way I am. I like to prepare and get ahead of the game a little bit instead of wondering, did this get approved or not? So allow time for adjustments. Summer project planning just started in our last building lead meeting, starting to go through, looking at polishing floors, schedules, what classrooms, all the yearly stuff that we have to do. We're started going through that, started working on it. If we could get those done, then we can start looking at timelines. Once we get those done, then we can look at costs and staffing and how to get those done. One of the other big things that's going on, Dr. Graff and myself have been going to sustainability, the committee, and we're looking at strongly getting the school involved with more recycling and stuff, food, paper, cardboard, stuff like that. One other opportunity we have in this that's aside from that is I got to meet with the buildings and grounds at Gustavus, and we're looking at what can we do to combine for like what would you call them, the fields and stuff out there. I'm drawing a blank on that right now.
Prairie.
Thank you. Prairie grasses, natural grasses. What can we look at partnering with them where they could come into some areas that we have that are large, that we're just wasting gas and labor, keeping it mowed and stuff. What can we do, what can they do to help create these natural prairies, butterfly gardens, stuff like that, and also create a teaching opportunity for our science classes to work with theirs and stuff. So that's another one that we just started just recently. The other one that I got is just an absolute exciting time of the year because we're looking at shutting the boilers down here pretty soon. Once the boilers are down, then we can start looking at getting ready for cooling and everything. But that part of it, cooling's a lot easier than it is the heating side, so. Any questions, you guys? I'm wide open.
Seth, what condition are our parking lots in?
So that's actually, I just went around with Nielsen Construction and I'm waiting for another person. Some of the parking lots are in really, really rough condition. We do have some slated off this year's LTFM for the spring to get replaced. One of the biggest ones that I look at is the playground area at South Elementary. That is in really, really rough shape. That one we have to get it scheduled to get done before July 1st. We went around and did a complete, every parking lot, every area there's asphalt, and they're gonna come up with a plan, recommendations, how long it takes, what it would take, how much it's involved to get them up to snuff. Is it just put fill in with tars? Do we need to do a resurface on them? Do we need to add gravel? So I am looking at all that kind of an evaluation of the outside of the building. There are some that are pretty tough. I know the middle school is one of them. John and I, we've talked about it a couple times before. I'm looking at when the construction is done in 27 is when I want to start looking at those parking lots and get all that done hand in hand. So,
Are parking lots under the auspices of LOR?
what's that?
Are parking lots included under LOR,
LOR being,
local optional revenue?
actually they can come under LTFM.
Okay,
Yep, so that's what we're looking at, how to schedule them in and when. When I get that evaluation done, I'm gonna sit down and go through how many years before, we could do a maintenance coat here, do a replacement 5 years down the road, stuff like that, and get that in the schedule. So that's one of the benefits of having the LTFM, which is a 10-year projection. Yeah, gives you a little leeway, a little flexibility.
sure.
Anything else? No? You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you to you and your team.
All right, thanks.
All right, building principals.
Well, just to piggyback a little bit off of what Seth said, having been part of Phase 1 at the Early Childhood Middle School project last year, communication has been really great this year in keeping us updated on what's going to be happening throughout the school year, as well as what we can plan for beginning of summer as we wrap up, and some things are going to put in place so the section that was part of Phase 1 won't be impacted as much by the Phase 2 work and dust and all of those things that we had last year. So we certainly appreciate that and look forward to getting that punch list, all those things in early childhood clicked off the list. So there's that. In early childhood, a couple meetings ago, I reported, or at least we reported at the Education Committee about our Frog Street curriculum that you approved last year for purchase, implemented in our school readiness program. That's going quite well. Every staff meeting that we have, we check in, what are challenges, what's going well, what do we need to keep going, what are changes you make. So we're having those discussions on an ongoing basis. Really, I would say that those teachers are planning together quite well and staying consistent in the implementation. So that's really good to see. And as we begin our conferences next week with families for spring conferences, it'll be nice to see what that Frog Street has done for students, as far as those kindergarten readiness skills. With that, we continue our transition planning with South. That will include visits to South for our school readiness and K-Ready students, as well as our students in the ECSE program. ECSE program will go twice. School readiness will go once to visit South, just kind of get the lay of the land, that type of thing. So we're looking forward to that, and they always enjoy it as well. They like to see that big playground out there. So we have that. Then we have field trips. This is the time of the year for field trips. So really trying to take advantage of low-cost, high-impact field trips within our community. We have come to the community center here and visited the Creative Play Place, as well as some of the large motor rooms upstairs near the gym. And so they've been certainly very accommodating for us, and that's just a quick trip down and back to school, but it's a good experience for our students. Targeted services, our STARS Academy program for K4 is about 3 weeks into our spring session. That's held at South and at North. And we have over 100 students participating in that program. And if you recall, that's a self-sustaining program. We get reimbursed for the number of students who are in the seats during their participation. We do have bus routes within the city of St. Peter and one drop in Kasota to ensure that we can get kids who need it. But I guess from the other principal perspective, what are your thoughts, Jana?
Very, very well. It's a smooth operation.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a number of years, so we like to hear that, so thank you. And then lastly, just kind of a heads up, our annual vehicle fair will be held at the end of April, and that will be held in our early childhood parking lot, and that's just a really good way to get to know families, get families to come to our early childhood center. It's a free event. We typically have over 200 kids participate each year. That doesn't include families, or parents, excuse me, or adults. And just a great opportunity for kids to see various vehicles, as well as see some of our community helpers, so our police officers, firefighters, ambulance folks, as well as people with race cars and people who help keep our community clean and so on. So it's just a really great event, and we'll be advertising that more as the event nears. And we always want to thank the folks in our community who are willing to come and do that out of the kindness of their hearts to provide that experience for our little ones. That's it.
Thank you. And I guess I would add one other thing about STARS Academy is that I'm just so grateful to the teachers and paraprofessionals that offer up their time to do that. Yes, it's self-sustaining, so they're making some money doing it, but at the same time, that is an additional time that they're with kids. So I appreciate that, and I've already had people wanting to do summer school, so
Very good.
that's
Sign
just
'em
great.
up.
Yep. Yesterday was, yeah.
Just as long as summer school came up, Read and Feed, again, we're hot on the trail. Read and Feed will be, already starting to plan that, will be housed at North again this year. And we've got our dates, we've got our times, and we just, we'll get that paperwork into the state, and you'll be hearing more about that. So that's another great benefit to the families in our community. Thanks for bringing that.
Yep. Our first graders, we've had 4 classes already go to the Nye Nature Center this week. The Tuesday experience was a lot of deep, deep snow. Today it was beautiful. Tomorrow I think is just going to be straight up mud. But it's been a really great experience. The focus is on animal adaptations, which is one of the science standards at that first grade level. So the kids are coming back really excited to talk about what they're learning and about the mud and the snow. So good stuff. Our kindergarten students will be going to the Children's Museum in just a couple of weeks. So good experiences. It is that field trip time of year. We had our kindergarten open house, if you remember, on March 5th. Dr. Graff came through. We had a signing night. So it was very fun. We had the athletic backdrop and a desk, and kids were signing that they were coming to kindergarten. It's just an open house style where they walk around, they can see different things. I think the biggest hit was probably the gymnasium. Christy Maloney sets up a really fun obstacle course. We had 4 athletes from the high school basketball team there helping, getting kids excited about going through the obstacle courses. So it was very, very fun. Hour-and-a-half event, and we had families stay the whole time, and we were kind of kicking people out at the end. They wanted to go through that obstacle course one more time, take one more picture, but we had 87 families come through this year, which is higher than last year. Last year we had 77. And when we look at our list of kindergarten eligible students that we know of, we still have 70 families on the list that are potentials. So high potential for enrollment. We currently have 74 kids enrolled, and so possibly 70 more. And right at this point is pretty close to last year's enrollment. So good numbers. To kind of encourage reading beyond I Love to Read Month, we have partnered with the Mankato Moondogs. They are doing a new reading program this year, and they're giving away some Moondogs tickets and things like that. And so Mutnick will be at South Elementary at some point to reward kids for reading. And then I know Ativ mentioned the Frog Street curriculum. The K-12 ELA teachers are looking at curriculum as well, working really, really hard, digging into it. They got several release days to do that. So really digging into curriculum and it's kind of coming to that point where we're going to make a decision. So it's exciting. And the last thing, I know Jesse is not here, but I just want to give a shout out to the middle school for hosting their first musical. I attended and it was great. It was Bree Bergstrom and Abby Alderman were the directors, and they did a fabulous job. Very creative in that space, in that auditorium space, using the aisles, and it was great. So just congratulations to them.
Dr. Graff.
Just a couple of quick updates. Darren's not here, so I just want to talk about March 9th, the School of Excellence event. Dr. Potts and I had the opportunity to speak at it, and I just want to say, so incredibly powerful. My favorite part of it was just how much the students led that event. The students were the MCs and just did an outstanding job, and I think it just speaks volumes to the commitment of our community and our schools. So really cool. Number two, I just want to talk about was at the Great Start cohort this year. I think I have one more of those. So I want to say thank you for allowing me to do that. I know it's a day away from the district, but sitting down with other new principals with those mentors around, just hugely beneficial. So thank you. Today was about law and how to support principals. So got a lot out of it. Next one, I want to mention where our other principals are. So Darren and Jesse, we've sent them to an event in Mankato. Mankato Growth, is hosting a free event tonight that focuses on connecting education and careers. That's put on by that group and Mankato Area School District. So they're there, and then Annette is at the Minnesota Indian Education Association conference with our NAPAC team. So that's where they are. And then lastly, just want to remind everybody, I will be out on vacation days for the next 2 days. So I'll be back on Monday. If you need anything, call Kimberly.
That's what we do already.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True.
So Kimberly's deciding whether school's open or closed?
Yeah.
Officially, Darren makes the call if there's a school issue, and then Etive is assuming other responsibilities.
Things are gonna change.
So we're in better hands.
Well, new school color. We're doing a lot of things in the next 2 days.
Good. Awesome. Around the table, Rita,
Nothing to report.
Ken, Tracy.
A little bit on MVED's front, and maybe Dr. Graff will kind of chime in here a little bit, but I'll just start out by saying that we had a special meeting. Well, one, we approved the contract for the teachers, and then we also have a new addition to the MVED district, and that is official, and I can say that, JWP, Janesville. The good news for us is that, more people or more schools in the district means the pie is split bigger, and so that will save us money. Exactly how much is to be determined, but it will be some. And we lost Lake Le Sueur, rather, a few years ago, so it's nice to be able to get that back. So if you want to know specifics, I don't know, and I don't even know if anybody truly knows how it's all going to shake out. I hope my business manager does, but I was pretty excited to hear that, so, and it seems like everybody is, so.
Is there any idea how many students they're gonna be
I don't,
sending?
3, I mean,
Six is
6, I mean,
the-
not a ton,
Projection
yeah.
at the level 4 program.
Are they all the districts given an allotment, or it's first come, first served type?
Yeah, and then MVED has the ability to grow. So we have 2 open classrooms right now. So the talk is there was a teacher who was not replaced coming into this school year because numbers were comfortable. Those numbers have grown. So we're right on the bubble of needing that additional teacher again. With the addition of JWP, we're likely going to have to hire that teacher. So then we'll have much more capacity.
That answers my next question. whether or not we have facilities to
Mhm.
expand.
And Ved's looking great
Yeah,
out there.
it really is. Because, you know, some of the costs are just divided by like how many schools, and some of them are by students, but either way, like the percentage of the pie, like totally got better with this whole deal, so, very exciting.
What is the enrollment? No.
Oh, goodness, talk to John.
I'm sorry?
Cool. Good.
I like it, yeah. It's kind of exciting. I mean, it looks great out there. I mean, the walls are great. Kids can do whatever what they want to the walls. The walls are self-sustaining, so, yeah. They're awesome. It's awesome. I mean, it looks, yeah. It is. I mean, yeah, they got,
Having a great year.
yeah, they're having a great year.
Don't challenge them.
I appreciate a good wall myself, so, that's it.
Welcome to our Gustavus students in the back, Natalie, Lauren, and Blake, who are here for a organizational behavior class, taking copious notes and judging us the whole time. I did tell them we would be available as we're walking out if they had any questions for specific board members or anything, but thanks for being here to observe. That's all I got. The School of Excellence thing was fantastic. Kudos to Darren and to that whole team. Just amazing. And to see fourth graders up there speaking in public better than I ever could at my age. I mean, they were so amazing. They were incredible. So good job to them. Mr. Crow.
Just a couple words on March 9th. Before you went to the School of Excellence, you were at the Capitol with Kate and I, and we met with a couple of representatives and so forth. And I always come away from that meeting kind of mixed feelings. It's nice to meet with the representatives and senators, but it is kind of deflating listening to them talk too. I mean, it just, you get that impression of sometimes, why do we even have them come? You know, well, it's not a budget year, we ain't gonna do much, you know. Split legislature, it's like they come with a defeatist attitude instead of it's an opportunity to get some bipartisan things done and build relationships, etc. So that, and it's nice to be finished with all our master agreements. That just gives us a little more time. It's all good.
Yep. Thank you to SPEA, and thank you to Bill, Ken, Dr. Graff, Etive for being in that negotiations room for several days over the course of several months, always taking place in the evening, often for several hours at a time. It's a big lift. Sausage is being made. It's not pretty, but it's nice to come out on the other end with an agreement on both sides. So thank you to everyone.
I'll echo that, and I appreciate the negotiating team keeping the board informed and bringing us in on this, and congratulations to the SPEA and the district. I agree about the day at the Capitol to one extent. It's always good to see how our school district stacks up. We're working well together as an entire community. I think that the legislators are always coming in to temper our expectations and say, you know, don't hope. But boy, there's a lot of stuff that as board and as community members and constituents, we can really make a difference by just making our voices heard and telling our stories. And that's one thing we did hear over and over again, is that stories regarding specific pieces of legislation make a difference as legislators are considering various proposals. So we'll try to keep you informed.
Thank you.
That's it.
All right, we have committee meetings coming up in early April, leading up to the regular school board meeting on Wednesday, April 15th. I would then entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I'll second it.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Have a lovely evening. Thanks, everybody.